Okay, all right. Good morning. It is 9:41 a.m. on Tuesday, July 6th, 2025. Sunday morning. Sun is out here in New York. It's a beautiful day. Thank you for joining me on today's most recent test episode of Baseball and Coffee with me, Adam Ottavino. Not a great day of baseball yesterday. I thought there was some good games, some bad games. Didn't watch a ton of it. Kind of came in and out as the day went on, but got some cool topics to run through today. Got some things I want to check out. But we're going to get started here in a minute after I give a little brief rundown of a little bit more about this show. Been waiting a few test episodes to really get into this monologue. Obviously I'm going to have to give it when I officially launch, but as a kid, I used to follow baseball through the box scores in the newspaper. I would go down to the corner store, the mini mart, when I grew up in Brooklyn, and I would grab Daily News, New York Post, flip to the sports section. I would take a peek at the box scores. I would look at the league leaders. I would memorize all the stats, and I would try to kind of imagine what happened. And never could I imagine that one day we'd live in a world where the technology is so crazy that you can literally watch bits and pieces of every game if you want to. And so the idea for this show kind of stemmed from me sitting in the bullpen the last few years holding one of these MLB issued dugout iPad. This is kind of what, in the wake of the cheating scandals and the sign stealing scandals, that's kind of was MLB's answer. They start having these iPads in the dugout that won't show you the broadcast view until the half inning's over, but you can go look at all your previous at-bats. You can look at the pitcher's previous at-bats. If you're facing a new pitcher or a new hitter, you can study up on them a little bit. Teams will load a lot of their analytical data onto there. But the thing that I loved about it is I could bounce through every game, go to every pitch on demand. All the pitches are already cut. You can see all the analytics, the pitch shapes, the pitch velocities, some of the data on like extension, release height, stuff like that. And then when the ball's hit, you can get all the batted ball data. And I can also get the overhead camera, the side camera to look at technique and mechanics. And I just thought it's a really cool way to add context to the box scores. Because let's be honest, nobody watches every game, and you can't. You can see highlights. Highlights are cool, but everybody's doing highlights. The storylines are going to be what they're going to be. But I really like to dig in and add a little bit of real context. I like to watch full at-bats or full outings, or as much as I can to really fill in the blanks of not just why is a player doing well or a team doing well, but how. The why and the how are important questions for me, at least as a fan and as somebody who loves baseball. And I trained for a really long time to get an edge every day. And I always felt like the best way to do that was to study the greats. And really, the game is about the greats. Everybody else is kind of an extra in the story of baseball in my mind. The guys who are in the Hall of Fame, it's really about them. And a lot of the guys that we're going to study are going to go to the Hall of Fame, and some aren't. But it's going to be really fun along the way to just see what's going on each and every day as the game continues to evolve. It's played at such a high level these days. There's so much information. You get a little bit of a glimpse into the way I like to watch the game. I have a chat set up. I think it's going to be great to have people give their input, come back at me with things that you want me to look at, tell me when I'm full of shit, tell me when I'm dead on. Got no ego with this. I'm brand new to streaming, have no idea how this is going to pan out. Don't really care. Just having a good time. I love watching baseball. I love checking out the stuff from the night before. It gets me going in the morning. And the reason why we have the coffee aspect is because, this is kind of like my daily routine. I get up in the morning and I'm going to have my cup of coffee. Got my Mets cup today. Kith. Mets cup with the Mr. Met right here in the back, as you can see. Throwing probably a fastball. I don't know. Mr. Met? Could be Edwin Diaz in there, hiding behind the headgear. I don't know. Anyway, I have a little coffee. Hang out with some other baseball nerds and watch a little baseball. So that's kind of the thought process of this whole thing. We do it in a screen share format, kind of like a gaming stream. I'm going to stream to the iPad that MLB gave me. Shout out to EJ Aguado at MLB, who really facilitated this whole partnership. I will be streaming on the MLB YouTube on Fridays and over here on my personal channel, Adam Ottavino channel, all the rest of the days that I possibly can. Obviously, some days I might have to miss because that's life. But I'm going to try to be consistent. I'm going to try to be consistent and watch as much baseball as we can. I'm going to check in for at least 30 minutes every day, but it can go on and on. We'll just see. We'll see what the appetite is for all of this. And with that all being said, let's get into today's coffee. Today's coffee, we switched it up. We went to the chocolate bomb beans from a company called Sacred Ground Coffee Roasters. It's an organic and fair trade artisan coffee shop in Sherman, Connecticut. So I like that because that's kind of near me in the Northeast. And I've had these before. They were recommended actually through a Reddit thread I was on. And I like any type of chocolatey notes in my espresso. And this one really hit this off season. So I decided to get a new bag. And that's what we're drinking today in my Mets mug. So the first thing that I like to do when we do this stream is I like to head over to the main screen and get right into the standings. As we sit here on Sunday the 6th, teams are wrapping up their series. And Toronto, as we can see right out the gate, Toronto Blue Jays have now opened up a 3-game lead on the Yankees. Yankees are really sliding. I think they've lost 6 in a row, maybe 7. So them and Tampa 3 back off the pace from the Jays. Detroit 12.5 over Minnesota. Houston 7 over Seattle. Philly half game over the Mets, who have suddenly won 3 in a row and showing signs of life again. Sometimes you get back into a Subway Series and that kind of brings you back to life. The offense is really Brandon Nimmo's coming to life. Soto's locked in. Alonso 2-homer day. He's in the C block today. We'll see if we get to him. Cubbies 4 over Milwaukee and St. Louis. St. Louis we're going to explore today as they made a really nice comeback in the 7th or 8th inning last night against the Cubs at Wrigley, and they needed it desperately. They really hadn't been scoring runs. They don't want to slip too far behind the Cubbies. Dodgers 8 up. Shohei pitched yesterday. Maybe we'll peek at it if we get a chance. But really with Shohei, I'm going to need to take a whole entire episode to go through his pitching or his hitting because he's obviously one of the most fascinating players who's ever lived and ever played baseball. But anyway, enough with that. Let's see real quick what is next on the docket. We are going to let you know what today's topics are. Today's topics are A block, Casey Mize. Casey Mize is having a great year. This is his breakout season. He was the number 1 overall pick for the Tigers. We're going to look at him. He threw yesterday in a Tiger W. And then we're going to watch that Cardinals rally in the B block, capped off with a crazy home run by Pozo, the rookie. And then the C block, we're going to look at Pete versus the Yankees and maybe a little bit more of the Mets offense. So we want to get right into Mr. Casey Mize. As I mentioned, Casey was drafted 1st overall out of Auburn in the 18 draft. This is a guy I followed since college. He put up unbelievable strikeout to walk numbers. To me, he felt like a really high floor, probably still pretty high ceiling as we've seen right now. I mean, he's probably going to be an all-star this year. But yeah, like a really high floor, a guy who throws strikes, guy who can do a lot of things with the ball, has a splitter as his primary devastating pitch, at least coming out of school. And to me, that's like kind of a platoon neutral pitch. Like if splitter's your best pitch, you're in a great spot. I would have, in my career, preferred to have a split or power changeup that was as good as my sweeper. But it was never obviously the case. So you have to pitch with what you got. But to me, like if you want to be a great starter, it's nice to have that neutralizer that works for both right-handers and left-handers, and they can't really mess with you at the lineup. They kind of just have to play the game straight up and see where it goes. So as you can see this year, 9-2 with a 2.63, 15 starts, 85 innings. He's got a 1.17 whip. Yesterday he went 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 4 punchies. That was his highest game score in a little while, but he's well on his way this year, and he has made some changes this year from last. If we hop over to his Savant page real quick, let's go look at his pitch mix this year relative to last. So he's brought the 4-seamer down a little bit. He's at 32.8% this year, whereas last year he was at 38%. So he's dropped about 6 ticks off the 4-seam percentage-wise and 1 tick mile-an-hour-wise, averaging 94.5. Last year, 95.5. I think that's fine. 94.5 is plenty. That's above average for a starter, I would say. Now he's going to the split as the primary secondary at 26%. Last year it was the slider, so he's kind of flip-flop those. He's also implemented the sinker a little more often. It's up to 12.2%. And those are all versus righties. Like if you look at his righty attack, I think I just jacked that one up. But if you look at his righty attack, he's now jamming guys with sinkers and utilizing that two fastball approach that we've been talking about the last few episodes. We talked about it with Brian Wu. You can go check that out. But when we break down the tape, I'm sure there'll be some opportunity to talk about how he interplays those two fastballs versus the righties. The split is the devastating pitch. If we look at his run values this year, actually, on the run value side, the four seam is dominating, and so is the slider. Interesting, but I like the way he's flipped the splits. Although, let's see here, by xWOBA, yep, those are still his two best pitches, but he's getting putaways with everything. Expected batting averages are clean on all pitch types. So he's becoming more well-rounded. His first pitch strikes are excellent, 69%. Whiff rate's decent. Not great, but decent. So he does a really good job, I think, of pitching to contact as well as getting strikeouts when he needs them. Really, if you look at his percentile rankings over the last few years, this is a huge turnaround. He was really, really scuffling his first trip through the big leagues. And, I think that, I don't know if the mic's been on this whole time. I really hope so. He was scuffling his first time around the big leagues, but he started to turn it around a little bit. Obviously, the walk rate has continued to be excellent, but now he's starting to do a little better with his contact quality. They're not driving the ball as well against him, which is what he struggled with really bad before. If we go look at his, let's go look at his Stuff Plus model here from Fangraphs. So it still pegs him as below average stuff, but well above average location. For this year, it's got him at 96 Stuff Plus overall with 107 Location Plus, which is probably one of the better location scores you're going to find in the big leagues. And as you can see, the sinker is actually the preferred pitch by Stuff Plus. The sinker and the splitter. PitchBot still has his command as way above average at a 60 command with 48 stuff. All right, so anyway, that's Casey Mize, and he pitched yesterday versus Cleveland. So let's hop over to the Detroit Tigers and the Cleveland Guardians, and let's just watch Casey Mize do his thing yesterday. Here we go. Stephen Kwan, first batter up.
Horizontal movement on it. It's got 3 or 4 more inches more horizontal than the average lefty, or than the average split.
Forces fly ball contact with a four seam up and away from a non-power hitter, especially to the opposite field.
2-2 from Casey Mize to Nolan Jones.
James the Piss out of Nolan Jones. This pitch is 96.7. So this pitch had some hair on it. And Jose Ramirez.
It's amazing that he's been around for nearly a decade and a half now as he pounces on that.
Interesting. Very hittable pitch. Ends up beating into the ground. So he gets all 3 outs with the four seam here in the first. Here's our first splitter out.
In multiple stints with the Guardians.
Yep, gets the classic rollover from the lefty on the split fading away. This would be a really hard lineup for me to face. All left-handed. There's another rollover on a split.
There's a ground ball to second, and Baez the scoop.
Yeah, I never really had that in my game, and that's a pretty good contact to get from left-handers consistently. Now he's going to get his first punch of the game with a split. Excellent. Let's see. Let's go back really quick and see if there's any split at the bottom. Wow, he just goes 4 splits to this dude.
25, 25, and 24.
Split at the bottom, and then he ends up finishing him below. All right, top of the third. Bo Naylor called down on strikes.
Every team that he
He's going to get painted with a four seam, I bet. Let's see.
That is strike 3 on the out.
Excellent frame job by Rogers. He's coming. He beats the ball to the spot. I mean, it's actually humorous, though. The pitch is here, but he frames it up here. And yet, the umpire's completely fooled by that. Okay. Anyway, gets the paint.
That is strike 3.
Hitter hates it. Mr. Martinez. No, Bo Naylor hates it. Another four-seam. He's getting a lot of outs of four-seam in this game.
Here's a big chopper on the middle.
Another four-seam beating the ground.
For the Tigers.
So you can see it's a good, not exceptional four-seam metric. I mean, he throws hard like we talked about, but it's not like a 20 or anything like that.
Honor the outside half. He's got to honor the inside half. He's got to just see it and hit it.
3-2 is inside.
2-out walk. Oh, and then they catch him stealing. Let's watch Raj throw this guy out. Good transfer. Oh my God, right on the absolute money. Why does everybody always think they're safe? You're hosed, bro. You got hosed by a dude with that mustache. You kidding me? Right on the money. Let's watch the transfer again. I love watching catchers throw. Bink, see ya. Let's watch it from the side. Oh. Good pitch to throw on, too. A nice high fastball. So that's going to end that inning. And now he's got Quan leading off. Another fastball. Another four-seamer. It's not a good swing by Quan there. I can't really say much more than that. Nolan Jones, strikeout swinging. He's going to doors it? Let's see. Yep, up top doors. Really using his four-seam really well in this game. I thought we'd see a little more sinker, but he's got a good four-seamer working today. 95.6 here. That's more like Jose Ramirez. I know his pitch is probably middle away. It's actually black away, and he just pulls the crap out of it anyway. He's kind of what they want you to do at a lot of these training facilities. This is what they preach: is just pull everything, pull it in the air, pull it down the line. Just go ahead and pull everything. Don't be a complete hitter. Pull the crap out of the ball. That's where the damage is. I would say it's really hard to do with the quality of today's pitching, but Jose Ramirez, he can do it. He's different. He's special. Okay.
He's got to score
Split.
anything in the outfield.
Rolls it over. The four seam and the split is just such a good combo, and like I was talking about how I was always jealous of this because you got four seam and split. They both kind of come in, and then one kind of drops down. So they get you, especially if you throw a low four-seamer, we'll look for an example of that, and you get it for a strike. Now they have to honor the ball that starts at the bottom of the zone that then dives below, which is not a hittable pitch. Of course, you need to have the pitch that starts at the bottom of the zone and dives below. So there's where a split or a power changeup comes in. All right, let's watch him get through Schneemann. Okay, here's his first out on a not four-seam or split. It'll get me over dumper. Slurve, it says. So it's like a little sweeper, a little more depth. Nothing really to learn there. Here's a single. This is the guy that got all splitters his last at bat. I mean, how many splitters did he get in this at bat? Well, he went fastball, splitter, fastball, slurve. Okay, so he was definitely on splitter timing, and he just slapped it. That's so annoying as a pitcher, but it's good hitting. It's good adjustment. If you're just going to throw me slop at the bottom, I'm going to give you a slop swing and get a hit.
No reason to overthink it sometimes.
Naylor. Oh, weird play. What happened here? You're only going to get one out here. There's a glove on the ground. Torque. He's looking at his glove. What exactly happened here? Can we get a better look at this? We got to go slow-mo. You don't really get to see anything there, so we got to go high home. Oh, he had it on the backhand, but it kind of like just snuck under his webbing. You can see it one more time. No double play. And this ball's hit really hard, but good job of the second baseman to stay with it. Ricochets right to him, gets the lead out. Okay, Brian Rocchio. He's going to hit a double. This is the first extra base hit.
Every day is different.
In the air, right field. Wenzel Perez goes
Split
back
middle
and
down,
is off the wall, sitting
but
on
not
the
down
warning
enough.
track. This is extra.
Where's this ball in the zone? Kind of middle in the zone. Let's see what happens in this at bat. How does it lead to this hard contact?
This year.
Let's learn from it.
In, out, up, down.
Four seam middle up. He's under it.
Two hits, both to Torkelson.
Splitter
And that's all.
with the middle up target is down. It's a good take. Yeah, so this ball's headed towards the bottom of the zone there. And he wants to, but he sees it diving. It's almost too nasty. And then he's going to get another split. Let's see if this ball pops a little bit higher.
Every day is different.
Yeah.
In the air, right field.
It also didn't have as much bite depth-wise in terms of vertical break, but it pops a bit higher. And Rocchio's right on time. It's second pitch, same speed. Okay. Quan, again, can he get him out with a four seam again? Yep, third straight time facing Quan where he's going to get him out with a four seam. Yeah, you want Quan to hit a fly ball, especially the opposite field. It's good pitching. I remember when I first came to the big leagues, I was with the Cardinals, and we used to always preach in the minor leagues, ground balls, ground balls, ground balls, ground balls, get your ground balls, get your ground balls. Then I get to the big leagues, and I'm sitting in on the scouting meeting, and the famous Dave Duncan is talking, and he mentions, I think the report was for David Eckstein, and he mentions, well, just throw him at the top of the zone and let him hit a fly ball because he doesn't hit home runs. And I was kind of like, oh, that's so simple. That's so smart. Like, make him do something he can't do. And so I've always remembered that when you have like a really good scrappy guy who loves to hit hard, low liners, ground balls, or pull side fly balls, try to make him hit an opposite field fly ball, like, but make him get under the ball, use the top of the zone, because it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to go over the fence. And as a pitcher, a lot of times you're just thinking, if you want to hit it, just don't hit it over the fence, and I'll take my chances with my defenders, right? Or there's certain angles, like hit it really steep in the air, beat it right in the ground. Like, we want to keep you on the extremes. We don't want to keep you in that line drive to slightly above line drive territory, which is the home runs. This coffee is really good. Highly recommend that chocolate bomb. All right, and then he's going to punch Nolan Jones out for the second time. This time it's a slurve.
You never know.
Swing and a miss.
That's a very hittable 3-2 pitch. Wonder if he had gone to the slurve yet. He actually swings under that. So he went fastball right before for a ball.
2-2. Outside, 3-2.
Okay, so that finishes up and away. Where does this pitch start? The slurve.
You never know.
Probably a little bit up and away out of the hand. It's hard to tell from this camera angle. Do we have a better one? But he swings under it. So I'm going to say, I mean, good on him throwing his third or fourth pitch there on 3-2 in a big spot. But I think that was a bad swing by Jones ultimately. And he intentionally walks Jose Ramirez. And he's going to get Carlos Santana to fly out. Still throwing 95-5. This is a 17.5, 95-5.
Santana, a high fly ball into left
Just hits
center.
it in the air.
That is playable.
Gets out of it. It's a nice job, and he's going to head back out for the 7th. As the Tigers were a little short on Penn this year, this day. Little backdoor slurve, gets the reach out, little punch out, ground out by Schneemann. Angel Martinez, he's the one who's seen a lot of splits. Fastball up away. This ball's well struck, but not that great actually. 98-5 at 27. So optimal launch, and it looked like he backspun this ball. He did, but he just didn't hit it hard enough. There's not enough natural power to leave to center when you just kind of mishit it just a touch. All right, so now Bo Naylor's going to get him for a grand road double. So this is the second, gyro slider, second extra base hit he allows. Yeah, see, pull side fly ball. This ball ends up down in. Yeah, both pitches that got pulled with authority off Casey in this game were kind of like down in, medium speed. That's where because he faced all these lefties. This is kind of the spot that I was always worried about throwing it. He got lucky. This isn't a homer. He only hits an 89 too. All right, and then he finishes out the 7th here. Still throwing 96.5, emptying the tank here on pitch 102. Down in, kind of beats it into the ground. And it's 7 shutout for Casey. That's a very satisfied walk off the mound. Emptying the tank there. You know that felt good. Yep. That's a job well done. That's going to feel good for 5 days until his next start. But yeah, I mean, he's been awesome. In this game, he really dominated with 4-seam and split. I didn't see a lot of sinker action at all. He went to the slurve kind of later in his outing. But it was just interesting to see kind of the progression of Casey. You know, in 2021, he put up a pretty good year. 3.71 in 30 starts, 3.4 WAR, 150 innings pitched. Immediately blew out the next year. Last year was up and down, a little clunky. I think Skubal has really seized the mantle as that Tigers #1, obviously. And it's crazy. You could be the #1 pick in the draft, and people will kind of forget about you after a few years. That's the sad reality of this game. Is the hype only takes you so far. Eventually, you gotta get the results on the field and become consistent and be the guy that you think you are. And Casey's doing that this year at the age of 28. This is we're entering prime territory, so maybe he can get on a nice run here for a few years, stay healthy, and continue to pitch the way he's been pitching. 21 walks in 85 innings. That's 2.2 walks per 9 this year. He's going to have to be that type of guy. He's not a big strikeout guy, but those type of fundamentals are going to serve him really well this year. I'm curious really quick. Let's look at the bottom line here on some of his advanced stats this year. 279 BABIP, but it's not a crazy outlier. I mean, last year is definitely bad, but he's changed some things up to combat that. The slug is the lowest he's ever had, 383. That's really a big key. How do runs get scored? They get scored with base runners and then extra base hits. And when I say base runners, I mean walks, like free base runners, like walks. I mean, singles are going to happen, but if you hold teams to singles, takes a bunch of them in an inning in a sequence to beat you. So stay away from the slug, the doubles and the homers. That's how runs are scored. And they get exponentially worse, those innings, when you have free base runners. So he's limiting his free passes and he's limiting his slug. And it's really a simple formula. It's really all it is. Just don't give them free passes and find a way to control your contact. The punchies, I always say the thirst for the strikeouts is different for every guy, and also the ability to kind of pivot off of your A game and find strike 3 once you get to the 2 strike counts is kind of the separator. A lot of guys get to 2 strike counts, they just can't finish at the same rate. They don't have that one pitch that just wipes you out, or they don't have a feel of how to catch you looking or how to make it happen. But he's doing a wonderful job so far of getting enough strikeouts, but really, really, really doing a great job with his contact. It's pop-ups, it's weak grounders, nobody's driving the ball, pitches in a great ballpark to trust his fielders and to trust his stadium and to just kind of go at these guys. And he's doing it. And I hope he makes it to the All-Star game in Atlanta. That would be really, really cool. And really, really cool story, because he spoke a little bit after the game about how he spent last offseason just on a mission, trying to improve himself, trying to evolve, dove into everything. And it's great when you see that hard work paying off. I know for me, that's probably the most gratifying stuff is, you know, how hard you work in this game. And when you see it tangibly in your results, it's just so satisfying because you know you earned it. All right, so now we are going to switch gears to this Cardinals-Cubs 8th inning rally. Now, Brad Keller was pitching in this game. I'm going to quickly go and pull it up. Cardinals-Cubs. A little context as we get started with this game. Cubbies beat the living shit out of the Cardinals yesterday. We watched it. Eight homers, 5 out of 2 guys, and they jumped out to a big lead in this game. As you can see, when the 8th inning begins, I still think it's a 2-run game. Like he's putting up the thing right here. Yeah, it's 5-3. It had been 5-1. So it's 5-3. Brad Keller on the mound. And as you can see, Brad Keller has been excellent for the Cubbies this year. 2.88 in 38 games, and I think that includes yesterday. He's pitching a lot. He's getting kind of worn out by counts, but it's a hoppy four-seam, kind of towards the zero line, so it's a little bit of like a cutty heater with ride. He's got a sinker, which used to be his big seam shift pitch back in the day when he was a starter, I believe with the Royals. Little changeup. He's got the sweeper. He's got the gyro slider, so the 2 breaking balls. How hard is he throwing? 97. So that's the other thing. His velo has really hopped. Yeah, he's averaging 97.1 on his four-seam. Last year, 93.8. With a higher workload, I'd say you should be a little careful. He should really prioritize recovery, but that's impressive. That's a huge jump. I don't know where he trained. He must have done something. That's a crazy jump. And he's selling out for it. He's like, you know what? I'm a reliever now. I'm going to sell out for it. Yeah, this is the best he's ever pitched. You look at that 25 line on the bottom in terms of his percentile rankings. Okay, let's get into the 8th inning. Cardinals needed this game bad. Really, really bad. They can't afford to get too far behind the Cubbies. And the Cards had been playing great, and then they kind of hit a stretch where they weren't scoring any runs. All right, so the 8th inning starts off, I think Contreras gets out. Yeah, 97, sinker in. Jams him, pops him up. And here's where it gets squirrely. Burleson comes up and goes dead center.
Drilled to center field. This pretty well hit. Armstrong is
just meets him at the top of the zone. Now, if you look at the hit data, it's only 102.6 to center, and it goes 426. So we got a little wind action for sure in Wrigley. But also, you know, I think yesterday I showed like a 104.6 to center in Miami, and it didn't even make the warning track. And it might even been hit at a better launch angle than this. Might have been hit closer to 25. And this is 102.6, so it just shows you baseball's not fair. Baseball's not even remotely fair. But this is still a great swing. Still counts as a barrel, and certainly counts on the scoreboard as a dinger. But look how he just cleans this ball out at the top.
Drilled to center field. This pretty well hit.
It's like he just turns his shoulders. He doesn't try to do too much with his hands. And he just meets it. Man, right on the barrel, right on the fat part of the bat. All right, so here's where it gets really, really squirrely. I think this guy is Sajis. Going with the no BGs. This is a good pitch with 2 out, with 2 strikes. It's going to wipe out most guys. He ends up capping it into no man's land and right. So now we got a man on. And now here comes Newt Barr. And this play is crazy. Keller going to, I bet this is a kick change. Newt goes to bunt it. And they get nobody out. This is a nightmare as a pitcher. You're getting a free out. You're going to need to get one more out to do your job and get the hold in this situation. It's not a good bunt. He means to push it to third, but because you get such good action, he gets Newt into a reach mode, and he kind of pops up the bunt right here. Now, at this moment, I think it's the pitcher's ball. Catcher's not even out of his stance yet, but somebody must have been calling it, and then they just get in each other's way. And now the inning is getting sweaty. Probably had a nice audible groan from the fans there. Gorman. First and second, 1 out. We're shifted up the middle. Slashes it through the left side, and we're tied just like that. I don't even know if Keller faces Gorman in that spot if they get that out and it's man on second, 2 outs. Probably not, because they'll have Pozo coming up, who's the righty. So he'd probably face Pozo there. But anyway, now the game's tied. And now here comes Pozo. It's a 6-pitch at bat. Let's watch the whole at bat because this was electric. Nasty, nasty gyro slider. Swings over the top. Tries to go sinker in, pulls it down. Gonna go back to the gyro. Nasty again, has him out front, wailing, one hand flailing.
1-2.
Goes to the sweeper. just never starts on the plate. Pozo still triggers, but never starts on the plate. So that's a take. We get to 2-2.
We're in the 8th. And that
Overcooks the sinker. 98. Was really trying to go crazy.
Pozo waits.
Looked bad in the first 2.
Runner
Let's throw another one. Pozo doesn't miss this one. This time he stays back. This time he really stays back on this ball, and this ball kind of backs up into him. It's only got negative 3.9, so it didn't move a ton. It also didn't bite as hard down as the others that were more like -5, -6. So sometimes the metric kind of backs up on you in the worst possible moment. That's exactly what happened here. This ball is absolutely clapped. 105.9 at 34, out of Wrigley. Out of Wrigley. Cardinals, Cubs. This is a silencer. Literally a silencer. They were groaning. The game's tied. We still believe in our Cubbies. But then this is a 3-run, absolute crowd silencer moment. Let's watch it again.
Runner takes off, swing, and a high fly
Just lean
ball.
back and let it fly.
That one on its way, and it's
Now, we're going to watch his pimp job from a few different angles because he really let this thing eat. He felt so good when he hit this ball. Oh, and it's a double kill. He crushes the catcher on the backswing. Can we watch this in half speed? Watch him crush the catcher. Oh. Boom, boom. That's a double kill. Oh, and then you can see the emotes coming. Hold on, let's get this back to full speed on this side. You can see he's about to shoot that bat in the air. I think we have a good view from center field, Cam. Here he comes. Oh! The bat throw. He goes bat throw right here. Oh, let's go. And like I said, that's a silencer. I mean, I've gone to games with people who would literally just, if they were a Cub fan in this spot, as soon as this ball left the bat, they'd get up and they'd be out of here. They're like, I'm beating traffic. We lose. I can't watch anything else. It's like a stake to your heart. But there's the Cardinal comeback. They really needed that one. They're, I think, 4 or 5 back. What did we say? Let's go double check those standings now. I got them right here. They are 5.5 back. If they can win this series, if they can win the game here today on Sunday, I think that would go a really, really long way to keep building their confidence. They gotta stay within striking distance, and they gotta beat the Cubbies head to head. And they gotta fend off those Brewers too. Brewers are hot. All right, so third guy I want to look at. You know this guy, my Mets fans out there, the Polar Bear, Pete Alonso. His numbers are freaking beautiful this year. 98th percentile ex-WOBA, 96th ex-batting average, 98th ex-slugging, 99th in average exit velocity. If it wasn't for guys like Judge or Cal Raleigh, or even the way Soto's been playing lately, we'd be hearing a lot more about Polar Bear. He's on pace for his best season ever. He's got a 929 OPS coming into yesterday, and then he hit 2 dingers. Or maybe that's after yesterday. Let's go to Mets-Yanks. Mets-Yanks. Subway Series. Always electric. Always fun. Oh no, he hit 19 and 20 yesterday. Mets beat the crap out of the Yankees. Yankees are really reeling. They need to win. They need to win this finale today on Sunday. Clark Schmidt goes down with Tommy John. Does feel like the sky's falling a little bit in the Bronx. They still have a great team though. But yeah, Mets are bullying them a little bit. Nimmo with a grand slam yesterday. But I want to watch Pete. I want to watch Pete's 2 homers. He does have a walk and Punchy versus Rodon early. Let's see what he gets him on.
We'll all be very careful.
Gets him on a fastball.
Every time we try to pronounce
He
his
just
name.
chases. I think, Pete sometimes, at least when I would face him and also watching him, I've always felt like with nobody on base, Pete is probably one of the toughest hitters to face because he's a little bit more selective, willing to take his walk, and obviously if you make a mistake, he hits the ball as hard as anyone. I thought with guys on base, sometimes he wants to be the hero so bad that you can kind of play with that emotion a little bit. You can kind of throw some borderline pitches, and Pete can be a little jumpy in those spots. He's done a much better job of that this year. His batting average, scoring position, way better. He's got more walks, being more selective. These things go hand in hand. Because people are going to be careful with Pete. You got to remember, this guy's got a 50-homer season under his belt. He's about to catch Strawberry to be the all-time Mets home run leader. He's simply one of the greatest home run hitters we've seen, specifically in this era, maybe the best. Just pure home run hitter. It's what he does. Hits homers to all parts of the field. He's a beast. And so there's that natural fear built in right away with Pete. But I think in the past he just tried to do too much at times. And it's human nature. You know, you want to be the hero. You want to be the man. You want to get the job done for your team. And I don't think it's a bad quality. It's just something that you have to temper over time and kind of figure out exactly what your process needs to be, because these pitchers aren't dumb. They're not just going to give in to you. They know how good you are. All right, so let's watch the 2 homers.
Yesterday is up again. Pickoff try.
So it's already 5-2. This is kind of a dagger for Rodon. Man on second. You got to watch out with Lindor on second. Lindor's too smart. If you're tipping or you're giving away a location early, or he has any indication of what's coming, he's going to relay that to the hitter. Any veteran, but especially a guy like Lindor, a guy as savvy as Lindor, he is going to do something. So I don't know if Pete knows what's coming here or not, but let's watch. He goes changeup here right away, so he's worried about the ambush. And he just throws it right in the ground, non-competitive. And when you do that as a pitcher, the hitter gets the ability to kind of just say, I'm reset, I'm back on the fastball. They don't have to respect it, you didn't land it. They can kind of just clear it out and say, you know what, I don't care about this. You haven't given me any reason to change my approach with this first pitch, so I'm going to stay fastball. Pretty sure he gets a fastball. Yeah, 94.8. Not Rodon's best metric here, only 16 vert. He can be like an 18, 19 guy, sometimes higher. But let's watch Pete.
I'm a loser.
It's middle. But he stays through it and goes to right. This is a great sign for Pete. 106.4 at 27, so all the necessary numbers you need to hit a dinger. But he goes to the opposite field, which I think is an important thing. If you try to get out ahead of Rodon, you're going to constantly chase the slider. You're probably going to be a little anxious and chase the ball up. So Pete decides to stay in there and drive the ball to right. And this is the right approach. Especially because he's another one of these guys that he's just so big and he has so much raw power. All he has to do is touch the ball. He touches it on the barrel in the air, it's probably gone. As you can see, Carlos not happy about it because now he's giving up a 7 spot. Pete wasn't 100% sure. If Pete was 100% sure, he would have done the barrel grab as soon as he started running. But instead, he flips the bat away. So he wasn't 100% sure. But can we look at real quick at Pete's grip on the bat? I don't think a lot of people realize that this year, but it was pointed out by my good friend Mitch. He's got like a split grip. He uses like an axe handle, which is like not really round. It's shaped like an axe handle. I think it's to protect your hamate bone, but also to kind of like keep your backhand from rolling over. It kind of keeps you in the slot a little bit longer, unless you get more your hands more through the ball in the path that you want to. But he's also going with a little bit of a split grip, and I'm not sure really the reason for that, but it is something new for him, and it's something to keep an eye on because it's pretty unique, I'd say. Okay, let's see. Well, let's see the center field view because I'm curious if he ever goes to the barrel grab. No, he just chucks it. He wasn't sure. But it doesn't matter because it's a dinger. It's number 19. He's creeping up on Strawberry. And then he's going to hit number 20 here to really just put this game super far out of reach. Another 3-run shot. And it's just a first pitch heater. This time it's pull side versus Sandridge. Left on right. Literally just times up the heater. Clobbers it to left. I actually think he top spun this ball a touch, or it would have went a lot further. 107.5 at 29. Only goes 392. Felt like he kind of topspin this ball. This is just a middle, get ambushed heater. I mean, you're pitching here. You got first and second, no outs. You got Pete Alonso up. I know you need to get ahead in the count. But, man, he just goes right at him with a four-seam. He just cleans it out. Just cleans it out. So back-to-back swings, he takes in that box, leave the yard. It's a 2-homer day. The Met fans are feeling it. They're rubbing it in their Yankee fan faces. And it's a party. It's a party at Citi Field. Side angle. Third base angle. The boys love it. I would love to show the very muted happiness of my guy Danny Barnes right here. Coach Danny B. Watch the little golf clap he gives. Be more excited about it, Dan. Come on, man. You could be a little more excited about it. It's all right. I like more the Manaya reaction myself. Oh, yeah. That's the way that voice sounded. Yeah. All right. So there's the 2 dingers for Pete. We can dig into his numbers for a hot sec if you want, which I do want to. I mean, his bat speed, 96th percentile. I want to look a little bit maybe at his... can we look at his bat swing path and attack angle? Pete's an interesting hitter because he has the ability to use his legs to go low. And he's got a lot of length to his swing. So he's really good at clipping changeups even when he's out front. For a big guy, incredibly good athlete. Incredibly mobile guy. Obviously, he's like Fred Flintstone strong, but he has an ability to kind of get squatty in his legs and get down to meet the ball when it's low. And sometimes he can cheat up high, and he can kind of contort his body into weird angles to manipulate to get the barrel on it. Because again, all he has to do is touch it. So his swing path, 33 degrees. That's right at Major League average, which is 32 degrees. It's 2% pull, although I kind of like him when he thinks more oppo. His bat speed's 76. That's elite. A tang angle. So he's basically it's funny because he doesn't do anything special in terms of the bat path. It's all Major League average, which I don't think is bad in this case. But he's really, really good at kind of contorting himself to keep that barrel in line with where the ball is, no matter where it is in the zone. And then all he has to do is really just hit it in the air. And that's why he's an all-time great power hitter. And really, he doesn't get enough respect. He's an all-time great player. I know last year I felt like the crowd kind of turned on him a little bit. And then sure enough, he shows up in the biggest moment with that home run off Devin Williams. Next thing you know, you got We Want Pete chants going on at the Fan Fest, and now he's back. But definitely, he's a shoo-in for All-Star. I don't think he won the fan vote, but he's a shoo-in for All-Star. He's probably going to crush in the Derby. I know he loves hitting homers in Atlanta, and this is where he belongs. Every All-Star break, he's there at the game. So, Pete Alonso, Hall of Fame one day, we'll see. But home run wise, he's certainly on the track and on the path to it. And 23 WAR for the career, 3.3 WAR thus far this year, 65% better than league average hitter this year. It's big time. He's got hits in his last 4 of his last 5, all of his last 3. And really, when the home runs come, they start coming in bunches. So actually, his OPS was better his rookie year, 941 OPS. It's crazy. 53 dingers. Who's a rookie and hits 53 homers? Are you kidding me with that? That's insane. But I think he's on pace for more WAR. He's on pace to be a better player this year. He's leading the league with doubles, 25 doubles, and he plays every day. Another underrated part of Pete. He's a little bit of a mini Iron Man, him and Francisco. But Pete, he wants to be out there every single day. Doesn't care who it is. Loves playing first. Played all 162 last year and all 90 this year. All right, so I wanted to go see if we could do something called high leverage at bats. So we go on Baseball Reference and we go down to the big plays. by WPA. So we're going to look at, in the bottom of the 6th, there was a big at-bat between Clemens and Kelly in the Tampa Bay, Minnesota game. Tampa Bay, Minnesota. Minnesota and Tampa Bay. It was off this dude, Kelly, and it was Cody Clemens' home run. It's a 2-pitch at-bat. This has had the most win probability change. It's a 3-run game tire, that's why. Bad pitch to him. I would say a little bit of a scoopy swing and a sinker middle down. Now he goes 4-seam.
0-1 to left field. Mangum going back. Mangum still going. He will go.
Wow, Oppo homer, 3-run homer to tie it. So sinker switches back to the 4-seam. This is a great job by the hitter. This is a great job by the hitter. First, he throws this sinker that's nasty. 0.8 vertical break, so it's dropping off the table with 20.5 run of horizontal break. So this is a nasty sinker. Kind of sweeps away from the hitter, but he's under it. Now, as a pitcher, oftentimes I would see this. I would see a guy under my sinker, and I would say, well, if he's under my sinker, he has to be under my 4-seam, right? And the 4-seam's got 8 more inches of vertical break and way less horizontal break, and it's the same speed, so this would be a very tough pitch to do a barrel adjustment to. And it is a tough pitch, and he kind of pulls his hands in. I'm not really sure how Clemens did this, but this is a great swing. Taj Bradley, those are probably his runners out there. He hates it. The pitcher hates it. Twins love it. But where is this pitch? So this is like a rise ball from his slot. And this time, his swing's a lot more level. And he's able to clip the bottom of it just right at basically 100 miles an hour, 31, to a pretty short part of the park. In Minnesota, I'd say straightaway left feels pretty small to me. So that's that. That was the high leverage at bat of the day. Number 1. Number 2 is Barger. Our guy Addison Barger got a walk-off hit off Zephyrjon. It was just a ground ball single. Gorman off Keller was that ball he slapped to left. We watched that. And Pozo's in here. So we've kind of seen him. We've kind of seen them all. Maybe really quick we can go watch Shohei. What do you think? Let's watch Shohei pitch real quick. It's 2 innings. Maybe we'll just watch every pitch. Who'd they play? White Sox? Dodgers? White Sox? No. Who did the Dodgers play? Dang it, Adam. Who did the Dodgers play yesterday? They played Houston. That's right. All right, so Dodgers and Houston. Dodgers, Ohtani. Do we have enough time? 31 pitches? All right, let's watch Shohei's whole outing. Comes out with a sinker, something he didn't throw at all recently. 98-4, Paredes trying to pull everything right down the line. There's a little baby sweeper. Gyro slider.
It's going to be rough.
Another slider.
Hooked into left field.
What does Paredes do? He pulls balls. Doesn't hit this ball good, but flops it in there for a hit.
You don't want that.
Cam Smith, the rookie.
The wrong way. Speaking of
pulls the sinker. He's trying to go middle in with the sinker and get the rollover ground ball for the double play. First pitch.
395 over his last 20 games.
Scraps that. Doors him. 4-seam up and in.
Do a great job against fastballs.
Do it again. This time it's even more in. Does get the double play. Just flat out beats him. Saws him off, I bet. 53.9. Can we watch that again?
Do a great job against fastballs.
Yeah, I mean, this is a stinger. That's nowhere near the barrel. So Shohei just beats him there. And then we got Tuve. Oh, first pitch 4-seam. I was going to say, of course he's swinging. You gotta be careful with that first pitch 4-seam, Jose. Ooh, and now a really good sweeper.
This is my team.
Good pitch to Jose. He's always swinging. Get ahead 0-1, expand the zone. Swings at a bad pitch. So nice first inning for Show. Now Christian Walker, the Dodger killer, to start off the second.
And he wrote this script 15.
Force him up. I think he's only 1 of 4 first pitch strikes to this point.
He's the first player in
Non-competitive sweeper. Gets the 2-0.
with Arizona. A 2-0 from Ohtani. Takes ball 3.
3-0.
Might be just signed for the Astros and Walker.
Takes it leading off, although he wanted the trigger.
Fires a 3-1 pitch. Gets a fastball by him.
Weird swing. A 3-1 swing, you would think he would really be... This pitch is a bad metric for Shohei. Interesting. Only 12.7 vert.
3-1 pitch. Gets a fastball by
Christian Walker not really expecting the fastball, maybe? Comes another one.
Here's his payoff. A lot of people thought I was
97.
didn't hit.
So he gets behind 3-0, goes 3 fastballs in a row to then snap off this pitch. I mean, that's a great pitch to hit until it drops off. Negative 7.5, 3.6. Tight 87 mile an hour slider from Shohei.
The
Caratini.
on the Dodgers if he was healthy for the postseason because of his heartbeat.
Four-seam middle.
Hitter is scheduled to train as a pitcher, both full-time jobs.
99, four-seam middle. I mean, he's getting 2 horizontal break and 13.5. This is like almost like a cutter. This is an odd shape four-seam. It's a big departure from those other shapes. Here's the first split of the day.
Well, we know about the athleticism and
this is nasty, but he had only thrown him stuff middle up, middle in, so he doesn't offer. Oh wow, 101.
down to the minute each day to be able to make both these things happen. 2 careers at once.
101 with cut? Well, perceived cut at least. How do you throw 101 off your second Tommy?
Oh no! Anything more than that?
How do you not swing at this? This is vicious. This is a slam. This is the type of pitch I call a slammer. It's hard, and look at it slam straight down. If this ball's a little more over the plate, yeah, -3 VB. This is a death ball. -3 VB, -4 horizontal break. If he kicks this ball over the plate, he's swinging. Hard to hold off on that. Looks like he's going to try it again.
If he get those next 3 years of two-way playing.
Oh no!
Oh my God! How do you not swing at that? This ball starts medium height and then ends up in the dirt. Like, you would think that would be enough, but it's almost too nasty. He wants to again, but that's so gross. Oh boy.
But to do what he's doing, back-to-back strikeouts.
And he goes sweeper on the 3-2. 3-2 chase. One of the biggest chase counts in the game. If you're willing to risk it, you're going to be rewarded a lot by hitters who will chase. Again, strike all the way, but then this one has way more movement, so it chases him. He gets tied into a knot. That pitch is just nasty. This pitch is just nasty.
But to do what he's
this is an 86 mile an hour sweeper with huge movement.
Back-to-back strikeouts, a video
Fucking
game.
gross, Show. All right, you in your Diaz. Final batter of the day.
Looks effortless.
Still can't get ahead. He's probably a little annoyed about that. I would be.
Diaz down the line foul because you know
ball.
Saki to come back as well. Fastball's fouled off and it's 1-2.
Under and late on the four seam. Another one. 1.4 horizontal on that.
Up like the rest of the starters.
Gonna go to the slammer.
This is 1-2 to Diaz. Yeah, and it's chopped foul.
Just a little reach and
doing it.
Fight for your life.
They're pitching.
Four seam in 99.
Innings in the bullpen.
God, it was so freaking hard. I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing though. That's actually a very hittable pitch, except for the weird shape of the pitch. Location-wise, this is where Diaz crushes, so this is a mistake. But this ball doesn't have the normal fastball characteristic. It's staying so true. It is not coming back at all to the barrel. And so he's a little late and a little under. It's also 99. Actually 98, but still. Who's counting? All right, and he's going to finish him with a sweeper.
As this year continues. Another 1-2 to Diaz. He got him swinging.
It's just gross. You have to honor it. He just threw you fastballs down in the bottom of the zone. Comes out in the exact same spot. By the time you realize it's not a fastball, it's too late, and it's outside your bat. Nasty.
And he strikes out the side.
Shohei was hard at work. He's just nasty. I mean, I think he's a better hitter than pitcher now, honestly. So it's hard, but he just gives you so much. By being a pitcher as well. It doesn't change anything for your roster. They're free innings. Dodgers can still have 12 pitchers, still have 8 guys in the bullpen. All the starters can get an extra day. I mean, he's not built up yet, but every inning he's giving them is a free inning, and so far he hasn't given up a run. He's been electric. I don't know what it's going to take for him to not have a third Tommy John. Certainly don't wish that on anybody, but just he's so vicious with his pitches. He does not hold one thing back. To his credit, his conviction is over 100% line. He's been up to 102, which is a PR already coming off the double Tommies. In this game, he got up to 101. He's ripping 86, 87 mile-an-hour sweepers. He's ripping splitters. Everything's hard. Everything's a lot of effort. It's a smooth delivery, but there's still a lot of effort in it. Let's see if we can watch
That by like 2 months.
his delivery from the side real quick. I want to get a fastball, like a good fastball for a strike. I know. Let's look at the one that Diaz fouls off right here. All right, so let's watch Shohei. So you see how coiled back he is on that hip? Like he really counter rotates, goes into the free fall, which is what you want, and then he rotates everything around. Arms in a good spot. Lead leg blocks a little late, but releases into almost a hop finish. Look at the release. Let's watch that from third base. Coiled while drifting. Points that left pocket at the catcher. He's got a little bit of a torso tilt coming in to kind of prepare himself to uncoil the upper half. There's the opening of the lower half. Leg gets into place. Hips are now open. Arms up. Stretch taking place. Fires it through. Little hop finish. Let's give it to you in half speed. And let's give it to you in quarter speed. I mean, it looks great. He looks so good in a uniform. I don't know if anybody's ever looked as good in a uniform as Shohei. Maybe Carlos Beltran. Maybe Lindor. But Shohei's so damn good looking too. It's so frustrating. He's good at everything. But he's really fun to watch. So I think that's going to be our show for the day. I do want to really quick check today's pitching matchups. I think that would be fun to quickly check up on. Probable pitchers for today. Orioles, Braves, Trevor Rogers, Grant Holmes. Ooh, Crochet on the mound versus the Nets. Crochet we might have to check up in on tomorrow. I'll be watching that. Chase Burns looking to bounce back. I think he was tipping versus the Red Sox that last start. And Zach Wheeler, this might be something to circle. My guy TA, Tyler Anderson, and Gosman going head-to-head here. Fastball, changeup, fastball split guys. Scooble, wow. First Gavin Williams, Max Fried trying to stop the slide. This is the right guy to have on the mound. The Mets are going bullpen day. Davinsky's starting it. Woodruff making his return to the big leagues. We might have to check up on that. There's a lot to watch today. Cabrera's been nasty lately. Drew Rasmussen, Joe Ryan. This is an excellent matchup. Two studs. Shane Smith, been quietly very good for the White Sox versus Dollander, the rookie, for the Rock Show. Lorenzen, DeSclafani. This is just like, DeSclafani, I don't know if he's been back up yet. We'll check up in that, but this guy was nasty with the Giants a few years back. A lot of comeback two seams. Really good feel for things. Lorenzen's got a good feel for things. I used to call him Biceps Man. I always felt like he was too jacked to pitch, but he's proven me wrong. He's been awesome. He's been durable. He does both roles. If you put him up there to hit, he can rake. And then we got a TBA versus Emmett Sheen. Skeens Kirby. Wow. Kirby's one of my favorites, and Skeens I always watch. So we have a lot to catch up on today. Fetty, Boyd. This is a big rubber match. Cardinals, Cubs from Wrigley. And then Jack Leiter versus the Pods. This will be another fun one to keep an eye on. A lot of firepower in that Padre lineup. Jack Leiter throwing awfully hard. It's been better this year. Birdsong and Jacob Lopez, who's been quietly really good for Sacramento. So we got some great pitching matchups to look forward to. Obviously, I'll be keyed in on that Subway Series game, Max Fried. Try to watch a little bit of the Skeens Kirby game. I'll definitely check in a little bit on Rasmussen versus Ryan. Woodruff, maybe we'll dive in tomorrow. Skubal, hard to take your eyes off him. Chase Burns, Crochet. We got studs on the mound. It's another great day of baseball here. Sunday, July 6th. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to do it again tomorrow, and then maybe we launch on Tuesday. Still need to work on some of the branding, still need to work on some of the artwork, the vibe, the settings, get used to all this, but I'm having a good time. I hope today was a good show. I had a lot of fun doing it, and I will see you tomorrow, folks. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining. Miles Davis, he's the man. We're hoping to get something from him to set the mood for this show. But we'll see. Anyway, till next time, it's been Baseball and Coffee with Adam Ottavino.